Well, have you ever seen this picture before? This is the Derby of Milan. But back then, it wasn't just any derby. It was pride on the line in the Champions League. A match that started with fire and passion, but soon it turned into pure chaos. This match was meant to be a thrilling chapter. But instead, it became one of the darkest, most chaotic nights in European football history. What was meant to be football turned into chaos. It was April 12th, 2005. The Derby della Madonnina wasn't just another derby. This was the Champions League quarterfinal. Milan had already won the first leg, 2-0, with Shevchenko leading the charge. Guess who assisted him? Yes, you're right. If deep in your heart you said number 21, then you know it was Pirlo. A legendary midfielder, a calm man, a player who seemed to move with little effort, but always delivered. His passes? Precise, elegant, deadly, making the hardest game look effortless and creating the easiest goals for any striker. But it wasn't just him. AC Milan, at that time, was filled with legends, already a giant in Europe, a squad built for greatness. And if you're asking, what about Inter Milan's squad at that time? They too were filled with football legends, names you rarely see in today's game. Icons that defined an era. Even in video games, they were overpowered. One of the top teams to play, but instead of finding the net, they sank deeper, conceding twice to AC Milan. The reasons? Yopstam and Shevchenko.
Футболістів Інтера Андреа Пірло виконує навісну передачу. Удар! М'яч у сітці 1-0.
Inter knew they had to fight with everything at the San Siro to turn it around. Inter had their chance, a strike to get back into the game. But a foul on Seedorf stopped it all. The referee disallowed the goal. The score stayed 2-0. The tension in the city was electric. Families divided, friendships tested, and a stadium split in half. One side red and black, the other blue and black. Both sides believing it was their destiny to move closer to European glory. After 90 minutes, no more goals were scored. Inter Milan failed to respond, not even a single crucial goal to take into the second leg. The news of their defeat spread quickly. Fans wanted victory because this wasn't just about football or just another match. This was about a city divided in two, sharing the same stadium, the same passion. After the first leg was over, AC Milan entered the second leg with a 2-0 aggregate lead. Inter knew they had to push harder and give everything for one goal. And the second leg begins. Inter kicks off first. They try to find at least 2 goals to level the aggregate. A couple of chances come their way, but it isn't easy. AC Milan fights back, and after just 20 minutes, Shevchenko strikes from long range, making it even harder for Inter. But Inter doesn't give up. They push again, creating chances, hoping for that one goal. Instead of scoring goals, neither team found the net again. But Inter now faced the impossible. They needed 3 goals. They walked into the locker room under heavy pressure with rising intensity. On the other side, Milan looked calm, in control since the very first whistle. They already had their goal and nothing to worry about. With AC Milan leading the aggregate 3-0. 1-0. Inter weren't just under pressure. This was the beginning of a match that turned into chaos. Inter came out with high intensity, full of energy. Of course, they wanted to turn things around. They created a few chances, but Dida was there, keeping them out. Milan didn't just sit back. They pushed forward too. And finally, Cambiaso found the net.
І все ж таки забиває на 71-й
A
хвилині.
goal to cut the deficit. The San Siro erupted in hope. But the whistle blew. The goal was disallowed. And Inter's frustration boiled over. What followed was chaos. From the stands, flares rained down, red fire cutting through the night. One landed near the pitch. Another struck Dida, Milan's goalkeeper. He collapsed in pain. Players watched in disbelief. This was no longer football. It was survival. The San Siro was burning. Smoke filled the air. Flares and bottles kept falling from the stands. The referee had no choice. The match was abandoned. Inter's European dream was over. Not by defeat on the pitch, but by chaos in the stands. 15 minutes later, the referee refused to continue the match. All the players left the field. It was settled. AC Milan were awarded a 3-0 walkover win over Inter. In the middle of the chaos, one image stood still. Marco Materazzi of Inter, Rui Costa of Milan, both watching the smoke, side by side. Rivals on the pitch, united in disbelief. A photograph that became timeless. The next day, UEFA took action. Inter were fined and forced to play their Champions League games behind closed doors. No fans, no voices, no roar from the stands. For the fans, it was a night of shame. A derby meant to celebrate passion became Europe's darkest chaos. And the image of Dida, struck by a burning flare, still reminds us how quickly the beautiful game can be scarred. Years have passed, but that night at San Siro is never forgotten. The Derby della Madonnina of 2005 became a warning to the world. Passion can inspire greatness, but unchecked, it can destroy the game itself. And through it all, one image remains. Materazzi and Rui Costa, rivals, silenced by the madness around them. A reminder that football is more than victory or defeat. It is humanity, caught between beauty and chaos. After that night, Milan went on to beat PSV and reached the final, facing Liverpool, the underdogs.